So at this stage I'd like you to open up a new document, Command and O or Control and O, and I'm going to navigate to where I was, iVector. I'm going to open up iVector.ai. Okay, and I'm going to bring my tools back over to the left here. I'm going to Command and 0 to center on that specific area there. And I'm just going to get rid of some of these, I don't need them. So I'm just concentrating on my actual eye. Okay, so that's inside its own document, 177 by 112. So what we're going to try and do now is learn how to use the pen tool, which takes a little while, takes a little practice. So you can see here I've created a simple outline of this eye with the pen tool. So I'm going to show you now just how to create the general outline of the eye there. And what I want you to do is try and draw the shapes of the inner eye and also the pupil, just to create a very basic kind of like an eye logo in solid colors. Okay, so I'm just going to hide this layer for the moment. Hit Command and 0 to bring me up to full screen. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Hold on space bar to move around inside my document. Okay, and I'm going to create a new layer and call this, let's say, entire eye. So I'm going to draw my shapes onto here. Now if I go down to the pen tool, over to the pen tool, if I click and hold down, like in Photoshop, you have different drop down menus for different tools. We're mainly using just the pen tool one here, and I'll be showing you what adding anchor points does as we go along. So the pen tool is the most powerful tool we have inside of Illustrator for drawing shapes, smooth shapes, drawing curves, things like that. So what I want to do first is create a point. Okay, I'm going to create a point here, and the first thing I'm going to do is create handles. So I'm left clicking, holding down, and what I'm doing here is you can see these handles coming out to the left and right. So I'm going to put the handles in the general direction of where I want my path to be going. Okay, so if I let go there, and then at my next point I can, let's say up here, because I have a nice curve around the eye area here, so I'm going to create a curve. I'm going to click and but also hold to the direction where my next handle, the general direction of where my curve is going to be going. Okay, so you can see that's created a shape and created a curve inside here. Now on these anchor points here, if I roll over them, you will see that, well, if I roll over this one, you'll see a little 0 beside my pen tool here, and what that indicates is that it will close the shape. Okay, so that's after closing the shape for me, but I don't want that at this stage, so I'm going to go back, Command Z or Control and Z or Z, whatever you call it. And if I look at any other point, I'm able to add anchor points as well. You see a little plus sign appear if I hover over the path. And then if I left click in it, I'm after creating another anchor point. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that again. Just go back one space. I'm just showing you at the moment what happens when you roll over the different parts. different areas. Okay. So let's say I started creating another shape somewhere else. I went out, started working somewhere else. I went to my selection tool over here. Then I went back to my pen tool and I started working over here. You can see it hasn't carried on from my selection. What I can do is just get rid of this one. I can go over and click on my last anchor point, and then I'm able to continue on with where I want to go. So clicking, holding down and dragging out my handles, especially this one here, in the direction where I'm going. Okay, and we'll see how we can use these handles in a minute. Okay, but what if I want to move around these points or select individual points just to move this up? Because as you can see here, if I roll over with my pen tool a previous anchor point, it comes up with a minus sign. So if I click that, it's actually deleting that anchor point, which I do not want. So Control Z or Command Z to go back. So I don't want to use that. Handy if you want to get rid of an anchor point, but not what I want to do at the moment. What I want to do is select this anchor point and move it around a bit. Okay, so to move around this anchor point, I'm going to go up to my selection tools up here. All the time I've been clicking my normal selection tool if I want to move something around. And this is a good example to show the difference between the selection tool and the direct selection tool. Okay. My normal selection tool, I'll just be able to move around the shape like this. If I want to choose individual anchor points and just move them around, I can use my direct selection tool and click on a specific point. Let's say this anchor point here, and then I'm able to move that whole point around. Okay, so that's how I move my specific point around. Okay, now for the handles. If I want to start using my handles, if I go back to my pen tool, I'm going to go back to my direct selection tool, and I'm going to start moving my handles around. Okay, so what you may want to do is click on the layer that you're using and then go up to, I'm going to bring all these out actually, and then go to the opacity up here so we can see the eyelid underneath, and just left click on that and bring the opacity down a bit so we can actually see where the line of the eye is. Okay, so that's just basically clicking on your area where you're drawing your shape, pulling out under appearance, you'll find opacity, and then you're able to change your opacity there, bring it down. Okay, back to my anchor points, my handles. So I can move my handles around here. You can see you have one on each side. So basically what I want to do is just line it up partly. This side, I'm going to go over to this handle over here. This anchor point needs to be lined up a bit better, and line it up there with the eye. So that's lining up pretty well. Move it around. Okay, so I'm wondering where my anchor point handle has gone for the other side. If I want to add to this, drag my other handle out, I can go back under my pen tools and you'll see a convert anchor point tool, and I can click on that point and drag my other handle out to line up with the eye, so around here just underneath the eyelashes. Okay, so that gives me a nice curved edge, nice and neat. Good. Okay, you can do the same by just selecting. Remember, I'm just on the, at the moment I'm on the convert anchor point tool, so that was just to drag another handle out. I'm going to go back to the direct selection tool, click on here, and just adjust the handle until it's nice and smooth. Okay, so now I'm going to continue on with the rest of the eye. I have to go back to my pen tool, and I want to make sure, I want to continue on from here. So what's after happening here, because I'm after going away, selecting handles and doing some more work, is, as I showed you before, it's going to start creating a new path. So I don't want that. Remember to click on, you'll see a little slash beside your last anchor point, and then you'll be able to continue to create new anchor points in the same shape. So I have a curve all the way along the eye, let's say down to here. So my next anchor point is going to be here. I'm going to left click and hold down. Okay, and put this anchor point in the general direction of where the next anchor point will be. Okay, I can let go there. I'm messing with the shape there. I'm going to go back to my direct selection tool, and just the same as before, and adjust the handles.